What's up, guys? So we're back here at my compadre's house. Here's the truck, Project V6 Revamp. We're gonna be working on the truck. So my compadre got some suspension parts for his truck. He's gonna explain to you a little bit. He's gonna go on the truck. Tell us a little bit of what's going in there.
All right. Well, right now we already have a flip kit on the truck, and we have a rough country 2.4 drop kit. So we're gonna switch it up. The front, we already switched up the front. For inner suspension, we got the lowering control arms to get it to a 5 drop. So we're gonna switch it out to inner suspension with the nitrogen chocks, with their flip kit, and then they send us the lowering shackles. When they did the rough country suspension, they changed my hangers. So for this one to work, I'm gonna have to go back to the stock ones. So we're ready with that. We ordered some U-bolts, little longer ones, in case that we decide to use 1-inch drop locks. We also going to be using
The reckless C-notch.
The reckless C-notch, underbed C-notch. I saw a lot of good reviews about it. I guess it's one of the best. We also got the shock extenders from Reckless.
So you guys already know he's getting a 6.2 swap, so we're gonna need to get some traction. So he got a cow track right there. So
Yeah.
where's the cow track from?
From VAS. But there's a lot of good reviews about them. Really cool parts. Everything is labeled right and left.
So it's pretty nice because it came with all the hardware. All the hardware you're gonna need. Shout out to buddy Roger
with his detailing. We put his detail company name.
There you go.
He hooked it up with the billet blocks. He said he wasn't using them, and he gave it to me. So thank you, Roger. Appreciate it.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start to work on it. We got our buddy over here, David. Shout out to him. He's gonna help us out. We're obviously gonna need a hand because we got the bed. We got to take the bed off. We got some work that needs to be done on the frame, which is part of the C-notch. We obviously need the bed off. It'll be a lot easier if we take the bed off. That way it's a lot easier for us to work, get the suspension parts in, and that way we have less trouble, you know, working. So it's a lot easier for us to work around. So we're gonna go ahead and start taking off the bed. All right, guys, so we got the bed unbolted. There's 8 bolts underneath the bed. So we went ahead and took those out. There's 8 total. We took all those out, and we did undo the harness that goes from the tail lights. So make sure you guys undo the harness that goes from the truck to the tail lights, because if not, otherwise you guys are gonna rip them out. So we're waiting for another buddy. We're gonna see if he comes so he can give us a hand to take the bed off. But if not, we're gonna rip the bed off and then keep going with it. We got the bed off. It looks good, no? You should drive it like this for a little while.
Pretty clean.
Right?
My tires look white.
Se mira mamalón así, güey.
¿Le hacemos un wooden bed o qué?
Thanks to Juan Shorty over here. He finally got here. So now we're gonna start ripping the rest of the stuff off that we need. Suspension and stuff. So we'll get right back to it. Alright, so we undid the these springs. They're dropped now. We got the hangers off. We got the shackle to take off. So we got this side done. We're gonna tackle one side and then tackle the other. Shout outs to the homie over here, Gabe, with the Ram. He just arrived to give us another hand on whatever we need. Okay, so we're gonna be not using this one because we're gonna use obviously the cow track.
Should go like that, right?
Yeah.
Makes no sense if it was like that.
We're gonna need that. We're gonna need
One shackle.
one shackle.
We
You're
already
gonna
have the
need-
shackle hanger. One
you're
of
gonna need
these,
these.
and then one of these,
And one of those
and then that's the hardware.
hardware,
That's the shackle
and then we need
for
the
one.
1 inch. So let's get this on there and see how it does. Went ahead and got one side. We had some issues. We got the stock hanger with the drop shackles We got the U-bolts, and then we got a 1-inch plate installed with the traction bars, and then we got the front piece as well. And then you got the bar that mounts up to there, and then you got the little bump stop that bumps onto the to the front hanger. So we're gonna go ahead and do the other side, and we'll explain a little bit more of how we got that side done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start taking off this bolt, which we already did for the hanger. We're gonna go ahead and loosen these up, and then from there we're gonna jump over and start loosening the leaf spring off, so that way we can drop everything and get everything nice and loose. All right, so we went ahead and took off the hangers and the shackles. We're gonna remove the 2-inch plate that he's got, and we're switching it with the 1-inch. So we have to bolt this one on first because we had a problem on that side. We did it like 3 or 4 times. Got to put this one on first. We're gonna put the hanger and then the shackle on there first and bolt it in. Put the bolts through the inside because we couldn't get them through the outside. They're too long. But I'll show you guys once I get them on. See what it looks like. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this one up. You're gonna lift up on this and put this in here. Make sure you get the bolts lined up. So there you guys have it. It goes bolted up like that. The bolt goes in this way, and then the nut on this side. Because otherwise, if you put it in the other way, it'll scrape on here. And the same thing with the bottom one. And you can barely see it in there, but it would scrape all over the frame. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump to the leaf spring. We're gonna go ahead and install the 1-inch plate, and then the little axle holder there that goes on top of the block, the 1-inch block. All right, so like I said, we got the shackles, hangers, and now we got the flip kit installed with the 1-inch block. And then on the bottom, you can see we got the traction bracket. The only thing we did have to do on the top was this bracket, and the original one, it came with this bolt, an Allen key on the other. It was like an Allen key nut on the other side, which that allows it to sit into the hole that's in there. So everything is pretty much bolt in. Everything bolts in to where it needs to. There's like little stubby things come out, and they sit right on everything. So it's not like you can't get it right. But we just switched this out, and then that was all we did. But everything's in there. The U-bolts, the bracket, the block, and now we're gonna work on the front. On the front, we're gonna go ahead and install this piece right here, which this piece goes on here like so. And then you got the top piece, and then the bar obviously goes from there to the back. But underneath here, I'll go ahead and show you. There's a little piece that you gotta grind out. You gotta grind this out and take this little ring around here and bang it out. If you can grind it out, it'll come right off, and then this sits right in there. So once we grind it out, there'll be like a little stubby thing sticking out. It'll go right in this hole right here. It'll go right in there, and then that's where you place it in there. You put the bolts on, and it bolts right in. So once we get it done, I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like after it's done. Alright, so once you get that little bracket out, you'll have that little stubby thing sticking out, and then that's where your mount will go. It just pretty much goes like this, and that goes right in the hole, and then that's how it bolts up. Plain and simple. So now we're gonna install this little bump stop looking thing, and that goes just right there. And when it goes in there, it bumps on the bar here. So we're gonna go ahead and get that one on. This one. We're gonna go ahead and install the little pieces that bolt on the front and the back. Oh, that mad. So backwards.
It was already in?
Yeah. So So we're gonna go ahead and put both sides on, and then we'll just mount the back one first, and then we'll leave the front one to adjust it once we get everything bolted up and nice and dropped. We're gonna have to lower the truck because I believe this leaf spring right here is gonna hit. So once we get everything tight and set in place, we'll drop the truck, put both of the bars on, and then we'll adjust it accordingly to what we need to. All right, so we went ahead and we went and lowered it already. So what I was talking about was right here. We lowered it, and then we're gonna adjust it right now accordingly. That way it didn't bang on the leaf spring. How it was lifted, it was gonna hit. So now we dropped it. Now it's gonna clear. So we're gonna go ahead and adjust it and see what works. We went ahead and we got everything bolted on. So I guess we'll just start churning on the. Start turning on it. Yeah.
This way or what?
Yeah,
this
that
way.
way. So we went ahead and we did what we did was we put the little rings that go on here and in the back, we bolted them all the way in, and then we'll just start adjusting from there, spinning it out until this gets all the way almost to the leaf spring. Because you guys can see how it goes, and you don't want it all the way up here. But we're having some issues, and the issues we're having is we don't have that much of a gap in between the leaf spring and the bar. So I want to say that because of the lowering shackles we got on the back, the way that the leaf springs are sitting at an angle, see, because we got 2-inch lowering shackles here, and then we got the leaves, we got the flip kit. So I think we got more of an angle than we should on the leaf spring, because this is pushing the leaf spring up from the back, and it's obviously pushing the front leaf spring down. So I want to say that if we switch the back shackle, lower it down an inch, we'll gain some clearance up front here. So we're gonna go ahead and lower it from the back, and then we did take off the 1-inch block that we had there so we can raise it up more, but it really didn't do much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that like I just said, flip that back down, we'll switch it back down, and then hopefully we can gain some clearance in the front. We tried a bunch of stuff, and everything is still the same. The traction bar is still hitting on that leaf spring right there, and we already took the blocks off, we lowered the shackles, and then we added them back on and back and forth. So after messing around with everything, we're just gonna go back to how we originally had put it, which was the 1-inch 1-inch block, and then put the hanger back to where it was, which was all the way up, which it lowers it another inch or 2 inches, and then bolt everything back up. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut the little piece here that you see where the bump stop where the little bump stop hits the other leaf spring. We're just gonna go about 1 inch back and cut it there, and hopefully that would give us enough clearance to where we can mount our bar and it's not hitting all over the leaf spring. Right now what we're gonna do is change out the shocks, but since we do have to go on these hangers, we do have to come back up. We're just gonna unbolt the hanger where the shackle goes, unbolt that, unbolt the other side, let the wheel sit on his weight, and then we're gonna lift up on the rear end here. We're gonna lift up on the rear end, and then that will lift up the frame, and then extending the shocks all the way out. So then we'll be able to unbolt those without them springing out and catching our finger. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then install the shock extenders, and then we can drop everything, bolt everything back, and put it how we were originally gonna do it with the cut leaf springs. So we'll go ahead and get all that done, and once it's all done, we'll go ahead and lower it and maybe take it out for a spin and see how it rides. All right, guys. So there you have it. We switched one shock over. So as you guys just watched, we just removed the other one. We placed the other shock. We replaced the shock extender, and it comes with hardware. So we put the two small short bolts with the nuts and sockets right there, and then we put the bottom bolt. It comes with a bottom bolt also for the shock. So we had to squeeze that together and then push the bracket through there, so that way we can get it in there. But we beat it in there after that, but we got it to work, and now we're gonna go ahead and do the other side and start wrapping things up.